What's up, guys? Peter Von Panda here. Hey, got something. This is from Moobibear, Move into Discovery. It's a flashlight, and it is their MD002 tactical flashlight. I don't know if you've ever heard of Moobibear. If you live in the United States, you're probably not familiar with Moobibears, but you should be. You know, I love movies. I love looking at movies. I love touching movies. They're just soft and lovable, and I can't get enough movies in my life, and I just want to plow my face into some movies and motorboat them. So anyway, check it out, Moobibear. I think you'll like Moobibears as much as I do. Anyway, I want to show you this flashlight here. We're going to open this sucker up and take a peek at it because I also want to show it to you afterwards, a little comparison with another flashlight that we've looked at around here, and that's from the infomercial featuring the Atomic Beam USA flashlight, and I think it'll be interesting. So all the pieces that come in the box are kind of disassembled, and then there is a user manual at the bottom of the foam, and then on the bottom, underneath everything, is a whole set of accessories. This is truly a true unboxing. I haven't looked at this. A couple of O-rings here, which is nice and interesting because that was one of my complaints with the Atomic Beam USA is that it didn't come with some O-rings in places I thought. Here's a little carriage. Looks like for 3 AAA batteries, which would sound about right. Or you could use the larger one as like 18470 or something battery, kind of the lithium-ion. A lanyard, a micro USB cable for charging, and then a little silica packet, a charger, a recharging block that would plug into your USB cable, and it would be able to charge, looks like at least 2 of those. Gosh, I may be wrong about the number, 18470, but if you have those rechargeable batteries, we'll take a look, and I'll get you that number. And then right here, I was wondering what this is. It's a charging block. So you get a USB to 2-prong outlet here. So quite a bit of stuff in here. And I'll be honest, it's a lot of stuff. And for what you'd pay for this thing, I think right off the bat, I'm already saying, man, what a deal. What's also interesting is that the cap here, it looks like they give you an extra one, and that may be because the one with the carriage is different. So let's open it up the back here. You can see there's a little yellow, there's an orange O-ring already sealing the back here. This back cap looks like just a replacement. They both click the same, and I can't see any difference between the 2 of them. So you just get an extra one. Okay, that's pretty sweet. And then in the back of the flashlight here, we have something. Boom. So, all right. Looks like I might not even have to look it up for you here. 18650. So not only do you get the Moobibear flashlight, you get a Moobibear lithium-ion 2600 milliamp hour battery, 18650, that comes with it. So dude, I'm kind of falling off my chair here because I did not expect this. I'll be really honest. I wanted to check out this flashlight versus the Atomic Beam USA flashlight as kind of my primary goal. And already right off the bat, I'm saying, dude, I'm pretty impressed with what you get here. Now, again, this doesn't look like there's any difference on the back pieces, but let's go ahead and it comes with this little plastic sleeve because it's a little thinner than the carriage. So we're going to throw this back in there. Screw the back on here. And you can see there's a little hole in the back of a little schmutz on there. Little hole right there is where you would run the lanyard through. We can do that. We'll put that lanyard on. No reason not to. Nice knurling on the aluminum piece here. Obviously everything is black, like anodized black. And let's just see. It turns on, so no problems with the flashlight turning on right away. Now, this crown piece on the Atomic Beam USA is not gasketed. And I can tell you right here that there is a gasket on, oops, I'm touching the glass here, I don't want to do too much. There is a gasket on the crown of the Moobibear, and you can see the LED under there too. So right off the bat, from a physical standpoint, I like this one better because I think it's going to kind of keep moisture out, and this is going to screw down tighter. And I'll just give you a little peek of what we're going to compare it to. Here's the atomic beam, and there was no gasket in the crown piece there. The other thing is, I'll show you how to attach the lanyard. A lot of people ask about this. I guess once you've done it once, you'll never forget, but I guess people are always like, there's no opening, I don't know how to attach it. It's really easy. You just loop it over yourself. And well, let's do it this way. It's a nice, tight little string, and I'm going to have to really put a little force behind it. So there you go. You run it through the hole, pull it out, and then just run the other end of the lanyard through that little loop and pull tight. Just like that. Now it's on. Cool. All right. On the little flat plating there, it says Moobibear. On the other side is the model number FLMD002. And so it comes with everything you need to power the sucker on. The battery, the charger, the charging cable, and even a charging block. Lots of hardware in there. I'm pretty impressed with it. But it also comes with this little carriage in case you don't have, or you're in a pinch and you can't recharge it, or you just have AAA batteries for whatever reason, or you prefer to do that as opposed to having the lithium ions, although I'd encourage you to do that because they tend to last longer, have better power density, etc., etc. And then your extra O-rings here on the back plate. Now, the last thing that I want to show you here is that it does come with this holster, this kind of nylon Cordura-like holster, which is pretty cool. There is it's a Velcro closure up here. There is a snap. I think it's a snap. Yeah, it's a snap and Velcro closure on the back, so you could put it, first of all, you could run something through it like your belt. But if you can't run it through, if it's like the strap of a backpack or a molly strap or something like that, you could put this through it and then snap it closed. There's also a little plastic, the polymer D-ring up at the top here, so you could hang it. Really nice construction, stretchy sides. I mean, this thing is pretty massive, but let's just go ahead and let me throw it in. I think it probably goes in butt end first, is my guess, just because of kind of how tight everything is. You wouldn't want to pull the big bulb end of it out, in and out like that, but maybe you do. And then if I close it down and really kind of make sure I've captured that flashlight, you do get pretty good overlap of the Velcro. No problems grabbing that edge and pulling it up. So right there, man, in terms of all you tacticians and operators out there, pretty cool. Now, let's take a quick look at the operation of this Mooby. All right. Now, I know a lot of you have probably played with Moobies and maybe had a lot of time on them, but in this case, I want to quick show you that there is some instructions printed, silk screened right on the top here. In and out is the zoom, and it's already out. You can see in and out. And I'm not trying to be slow here. It's, because of the tight seals, you're kind of pressing air in and out, so it's not super easy to do really quickly, but you don't want it because wherever you put it, you want it to stay and stay in that position. And then the button on the back, a full press will turn it on and turn it off. And what I've noticed is that, because I think maybe this is the exact same hardware that Atomic Beam USA flashlight uses, every time I turned it on and off on that flashlight, it always cycled to the next mode. So it has a few different modes, and this one seems to do that too. So when I turn it off, turn it back on, goes to another mode. Now this one is probably the high mode. As you can see here, in, out, zoom works like a champ. But I can also half press it to go through the modes. And is that a medium? That's definitely the low. You can definitely see the difference there. And that one's a really low. So this will probably be your kind of map light. And then you get to a fast strobe. Then you get to SOS. And then I think it'll go right back to high. So you have, looks like you have a number of kind of intensity settings. 1, 2, 3. So you have kind of high, medium, low, I guess. All right, so there it is. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off there. Let's go ahead and look at a quick comparison before we go out and really try this out in the real world. And let me bring in here my Atomic Beam USA flashlight, which was, let me be honest, more expensive than the Moobibear. And everything looks about the same. The perspective here may be a little hard to see, but it sure looks like these rolled off of the same assembly line to me. I mean, even the little recessed areas where they've screen printed, press that down, the knurling, the back end, the button end of the flashlights, I'll keep them even there. One is just, you know, the printed molded pattern, and the silicone is slightly different on the two, and one is orange and one is yellow. So that's a little different. And then you can see here that they are effectively the same. Actually, I'm not sure if it's because that in this case, because this one is gasketed and this one isn't, there might be just a little bit of difference in terms of how far away this nice big curved glass lens is from the LED. But from right here, the LED in the Moobibear actually looks like it's maybe just a smidge smaller, but that could be an optical illusion based on, you know, the lens not being exactly the same distance. But effectively, they're all the same. You get that crown edge. Now, one of the things that I told you is that no matter how hard I tighten this crown piece down, I mean, I'll torque it as much as I can there. It's really easy to loosen up. I mean, it's easier than opening a jar of pickles. I didn't like that. Now, I'm not too worried about moisture and water getting in, but, you know, when it's loose like that and I knock it against something, I mean, it could possibly get loose. But, you know, I didn't have any problems zooming in and out. But again, everything feels about the same. And the back end of this one screws off exactly the same. And then in this case, because it didn't come with any batteries, I've got it running on 3 AAAs. So just remember, as we do a little comparison, the Atomic Beam is running on 3 brand new AAAs, and the Moobibear is going to be running on the lithium-ion that they include, which I actually don't know what the status of the charge level is, but it obviously works. The screen printing is a little bit different. I mean, it's effectively the same thing. The numbers are all the same, but obviously, you know, the design is slightly different. So no big whoop there. When you extend it out, you basically get the same additional length on both, right? So I don't see any difference, but this one seems to have a very strong marketing campaign, which I think is what you're paying for in this, you know, in this price, because this comes with this minus the batteries, and this one comes with all of this, right? And actually some really cool packaging on top of it. So let's go ahead and take it outside and just try it out, and let's compare it to the Atomic Beam USA. All right, so I'm out here with the 2 flashlights, and as you might be able to see here, I've got the Atomic Beam in this hand, the yellow, and then I actually have the Moobibear in this hand, in my right hand, and I have them both on. I'm gonna kind of narrow the beam down here, but I wanted to be out here where we have some things to look at. I mean, we've got a bush here and the house here, things like that. So I think they're both on the same mode. Let's go ahead and toggle them, and they're kind of both in the lower mode. You can see things pretty far out. Maybe I was not on the right modes. There we go. So not quite a perfect comparison, but they're both on strobe, and now they're both on SOS, and now they're both on high. So it can be a little hard to tell, and I'm trying to go ahead and zoom them out. But like I said, maybe those LED elements are just slightly different, but as I'm looking at it, and it might maybe easier, hard to tell on the camera, but I can see absolutely no difference in terms of what they are illuminating here. And in fact, that one the lithium-ion battery maybe helping put out just a little more, because it actually looks a little brighter, a little whiter. But like I said, for the most part, they look almost exactly the same. And even when I go to the lower level, that, you know, I think maybe any difference I'm picking up is totally psychological. Anyway, I think exactly the same output, although like I said, is, whoops, and I dropped it. All right, guys, so my final thoughts there is, you could see, you know, I went out and actually shot a bunch of video trying out this Moobibear out in the darkness, and I couldn't tell. Honestly, just depending on which flashlight I was holding, I certainly couldn't tell a difference. You know, when I knew which flashlight I was holding in which hand, sometimes maybe I think I could see a difference, but the reality is that these are, for all intents and purposes, exactly the same flashlight. And so this Moobibear flashlight, this MD002, is absolutely awesome. If you like this style, if you have seen the commercials here for the Atomic Beam USA flashlight, go check out the Moobibear. I'm going to put a link to it in Amazon. The reality is this flashlight is cheaper than the Atomic Beam USA by like 10 or 20%, you know, after you get shipping and handling fees in there and processing fees and what have you. And yet, everything you see here with the Moobibear is included, none of which came with the Atomic Beam USA. And let me remind you that even the battery here that comes in it was also included. So you have a working flashlight right out of the box with all the accessories to keep it charged and usable. And I will, you may or may not have seen there at the very end, I actually dropped this flashlight on the concrete, and there's nothing that you can see on it that suggests I did. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be typical, but I dropped it and I kind of freaked a little bit, and this thing, it still runs like a champ. So I'm super stoked with it. I think what an incredible deal this flashlight is going on in my my gear on my next trip. Peter Von Panda with my Moobibear MD002. Out!